What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dominic Rich, and in today's video I'll be doing a preview for the big round of 16 clash between Croatia and Japan. The game will be played on December 5th at the Al Janoub Stadium, where the winner will face the winner of the Brazil-South Korea fixture. You know what's crazy, guys? We could have Japan versus Korea in the quarterfinals. Wow. In terms of results en route to the round of 16 for Japan, they stunned Germany in their opener, coming back from a 1-0 deficit to defeat the Germans 2-1. Japan were then complacent in their second game against Costa Rica and went on to lose that game 1-0, but repeated what they did against Germany against Spain with another remontada to win that game 2-1 to go on to top the group to face Croatia. As for Croatia, they started their group stage campaign with a 0-0 draw against Morocco, then followed up that draw by effing up the Canadians 4-1. And their final act of the group phase was to keep a scoreless draw against the mighty Belgians to dismiss them from the tournament. In terms of the star players for both Japan and Croatia at the World Cup so far, for Japan, I have to go with their super sub Ritsu Doan. He's came off the bench twice and scored the winning goal. So listen, man, are we going to see Moriyasu keep him out the 11 just to bring him off the bench to have a similar effect? I think that'll be the best choice. For Croatia, one player that stands out, guys, it's not Luka Modric, but it's Joško Vardiol. He's been massive at them for the back alongside Dejan Lovren. He's looked like the senior defender. In terms of the head-to-head between the two teams, there's been 3 previous meetings. Interestingly, 2 coming at the World Cup. These teams met for the first time back in World Cup 1998, where they entered the group both as debutants. There was also another debutant in that group in Jamaica, and Argentina was the other team. Croatia won their first meeting 1-0. Then the meeting at the 2006 World Cup ended in a goalless draw. So guys, let's talk a bit about the 11s for both teams. All right, let's start with Japan and let's use the 11 that they started against Spain. Well, Hajime Moriyasu is the manager and he plays a 3-4-3 formation. So at the back in that game, Ko Itakura, he will be suspended for the upcoming match against Croatia. So they'll need a replacement for him. It's either going to be Tomiyasu or Sakai. Well, look, you see Maya Yoshida at the back along with Taniguchi. Well, I think it could actually be Yoshida, Sakai, and Tomiyasu, but it's left to be seen. Let's see what Hajime Moriyasu does for this game. We move into the midfield. Junya Ito, Eo Tanaka, who scored a goal, Morita, and Yuto Nagatomo. Some of these guys, I don't remember their first name, guys. But look, I think that should remain the same, but Moriyasu loves to tweak things. If he's smart, he does not start Ritsu Doan in this game. He keeps him on the bench as a super sub because it worked twice, and the only game that he started Doan in, they lost. Up top, Takefusa Kubo, Daizen Maeda, and Daichi Kamada. Well, look, we haven't seen Kaoru Mitoma from the start yet. And there's also Takumi Minamino who could come off the bench or start the game. We yet to see Minamino from the start. So Japan do have a lot of options they could choose from. There's also Endo that could slap into the midfield. And if Moriyasu wants to start Ritsu Doan, he could do that as well. There's also Asano and Ueda that provides options. But I think their success in this game could rely on how Moriyasu uses subs like he did against Germany and against Spain. Let's take a look at what the 11 could look like for Croatia. So Zlatko Dalic in charge. He plays a 4-3-3 formation. And look, I think their backline could remain the same. The only question mark is maybe over Josip Juranovic, whether they want to bring in Stanisic. But I don't see that happening because you would want to just keep that relationship going between the defenders. Borna Sosa has been good. Joško Vardiol, he's been their breakout player at the World Cup. And Dejan Lovren, he has been solid. So to Livakovic. You move into the midfield, that's not budging whatsoever unless there's an injury. Modric, Brozovic, and Kovacic in the midfield. The only thing I could see happening is maybe Pasalic coming in, but we won't be seeing that, guys. We move up to the forwards, Andre Kramaric, Marko Livaya, and Ivan Perisic. I don't think that's going to change, but if there's any change that's going to be made, we might see Livaya drop out, Kramaric go central, Nikola Vlasic come in, or maybe we'll see a player like Bruno Petkovic come into the team. But look, it's been working so far for Zlatko Dalic, and I don't think he should change things at all. The most changes we might see, one the most. Not even one or two, one. So let's move. Let's take a look at some key insights for both teams. For Japan, they have reached the last 16 of the World Cup for a fourth time, including both of the two last editions. However, they have never progressed from this stage, going out to Turkey in 2002, Paraguay on penalties in 2010, and Belgium in 2018, where they had actually gone up 2-0, guys. The only Asian nations to reach the World Cup quarterfinals were the DPR, Korea, that's North Korea in 1966, and Korea Republic in 2002, where Korea Republic went on to make the semis, actually. In terms of Croatia, guys, let's take a look at the number 5 insights. Croatia have only lost 2 of their 8 knockout stage games at the World Cup, winning 4 and drawing 2. While they also progressed from the 2 such games that finished as draws on penalties, both in 2018 versus Denmark in the round of 16 and Russia in the quarterfinals. And another thing too I have to add, every time Croatia have made it out the group, they've made it to the semifinals. Are we going to see them make such a run at the World Cup again? It's left to be seen. Let me take the hood off for this one, guys. This was one of my toughest predictions, right? I have not doubted this Croatian team at all at the World Cup so far. I've predicted them to do well in every game. When I predicted a draw and they drew, when I predicted them to win and they went on to win the game. And I feel proud of that. Back in 2018, I predicted against Croatia throughout the whole World Cup, and they just kept proving me wrong. Look, this is a tough match. I know it's Japan, but this is a tough game because Japan ousted Germany out of the World Cup with that big victory on match day 1. And they did beat Spain, almost knocking them out too if Costa Rica had held on to that lead that they had for about 3 minutes. So Japan are not a team to play around with. And I think Croatia knows that. I think they do know that. The team, they have so much depth. So many skillful players. And the thing is, there's a mystery because not a lot of people know about these players, but they ply their trade in some of the best leagues across the world, whether it's in the J League, the Bundesliga, the French League, the Premier League, La Liga, the Italian league. They're all over the place. Maybe not in all the leagues I mentioned, but you get the point. Look, they've impressed. They topped their group, a group that had Spain and Germany, former World Cup winners. This is no easy task. This is no easy feat to pull off. So Japan's going to be a hard team to play against. They're a team that play with high energy, high pressing. They're going to take the game to you. They're going to want to be involved. They're not just want to sit back and defend. If that's the case, they're able to do it as well, as we saw when Germany were trying to get back in the game and when Spain were trying to get back in the game. They do know how to just get that formation tight and defend. They have capable players. Yoshida, Takahiro Tomiyasu, Taniguchi, the guys in front of the defense like Endo and Eo Tanaka. Their pressing game is insane because they got so much energy. Croatia would need to be switched on. They would need to match Japan's energy. I don't know how easy that is going to be to pull off, but they're going to have to do it. This Croatian team, they have been good. They've only conceded 1 goal so far at the World Cup. None against Belgium, none against Morocco, and the early Alphonso Davies goal that they replied with 4. They're going to be tested in this game. They're going to be tested. These Japanese forwards, they have an eye for goal. And we saw they could be dangerous from set pieces as well. But on the counter is where they're really dangerous. In transition, Croatia giving the ball away in midfield and Japan getting in behind with Jonya Ito Asano, Ritsu Doan, Takefusa Kubo. These guys are quick. Are Croatia going to be able to deal with this Japanese speed and their exuberance? I think they can, of course. I think they can. I do think they can. I think this will be a very cagey affair, end-to-end type game. The midfield battle is going to be very, very important. That's where the game could be won as well. If Croatia bosses the midfield with Brozovic, Kovacic, and Luka Modric, then they'll win this game easily. But if Japan are able to get a stronghold, win some of those balls back, break on transition, then they'll punish Croatia. Guys, let me say this from the get-go. This game, I think, is going to extra time. This is the first one that I'm predicting to go to extra time. I predicted the Netherlands-USA correctly. I predicted the game between France and Poland correctly, and Argentina-Australia correctly. But this one, look, I don't know what happened in the England-Senegal game yet. I'm making this video before that game. But this one is the first one I'm predicting to go to extra time. And I have a feeling. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And I don't mind being wrong. This game could go any way, guys. Japan could come through or Croatia could come through. I'm not saying Croatia are the clear favorites or Japan are the clear favorites. This is going to be a cagey affair, cat and mouse, where ultimately this chess game is going to be determined by whichever manager could outsmart the other by using their substitutes, by just knowing when to close up shop, just knowing when to go after the game, and all that good stuff. Japan 2, Croatia 1 after extra time is my prediction. Japan into the quarters for the very first time in their World Cup history. If Croatia manages to get past Japan, it will be a really good feat, making it to the quarters for the third time since 1998. I'm not underestimating the Croatian team. Not at all. They're a good team. They're going to have to be clinical, but I just see this being an end-to-end, very open game that's going to go to the distance. Could even go to penalties, but I fancy Japan. And I fancy Japan because when the going gets tough, they find the solutions. Croatia, I think, they haven't been really tested fully, and Belgium, they weren't clinical because there was a lot of opportunities for Croatia to be punished in that game. So I'm gonna go for Japan. Croatia, you guys know I love you. I predicted for you all this World Cup. I predicted for you to make the World Cup. It's my first prediction against Croatia. Don't get mad at me, guys. Don't get mad at me. But let's see how it goes. So that's my prediction. Japan to go into the quarters. Croatia to go home. And as I said, it could be any which way. But guys, I'm your boy Dominic Rich. Thanks for watching another preview for the round of 16 of the 2022 World Cup. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video if you haven't yet done. So let me know if I miss any major talking points down below. And until my next one, peace out. Rich Squad. Peace.